What's up, guys? Welcome to the August Love Story channel. Today we are reviewing Put a Ring on It, episode 4. I think this is season 1. But before we do, subscribe to the channel. Yeah. So let's get into it.
Starting off with Ashley and Hollywood, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Ashley and Hollywood had their sit down with Dr. Nicole. And Ashley realized that she was upset with herself for staying with Hollywood.
Right.
And I'm just sitting there like, you think?
Right.
She said she was upset with him. Upset with herself for staying with him after he hurt her. And now all these things have transpired, which the biggest one is her dad can no longer walk her down the aisle.
Right.
I can see that being a big issue and a sore spot in the relationship. I don't know how you can overcome that or how you can fix that. I don't think it is fixable, but
yeah.
I mean, I'm not in their relationship.
Hollywood basically said if the roles were flipped, he would have left her.
He did. He exactly said that. And I
was like, Hollywood, man, come on, man.
I remember having that conversation with one of your friends. And it was just a hypothetical situation that we were talking about when he was talking about getting married. And I was like, man, if somebody says no, do y'all stay together? And he was like, no, I'm out. And like, she didn't say no. She said yes when he asked. And then he was like, I don't know if this is it.
Right.
And that's saying no to me.
Yeah.
So Ashley shouldn't have stayed, but
yeah.
To each his own.
And she was really upset with herself.
So we saw Hollywood go on a date with Passionate. Passionate has a daughter. They did say that they were from like the same area, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with Metro New Orleans, so it is what it is.
He called her
town small.
Yeah.
Which is what it is. I've never heard of it, but I know where New Orleans is.
Right. They played Jenga.
They did play Jenga, and Hollywood lost.
He said he let her win.
He lost. One of the things that I noticed about their date, I was actually about to get to that, when he asked her, does she like it hard? And she was like, excuse me? At that moment, I was like, oh, she's not the one for Hollywood at all.
At all.
Like, that's not even a pretend, let's continue and go on another date type response. That was an absolutely not. Why are you playing with me, little boy?
Right.
And I didn't see anything past that. And Ashley went on her date last week.
Yeah.
So don't have to talk about that. You got anything else for Ashley and Hollywood? Anything you want to throw out there?
Yeah. They both passed on their dates.
Oh, I hadn't gotten to that yet. But yes.
Oh, yeah.
They did both say that they weren't going to go on the dates.
I think Hollywood is like enjoying going out on dates. And he's like, he's getting his wheels turning and he's trying this and trying that.
Let's jump to Hollywood for a second.
Okay.
The guys during this episode all met up with each other. And I mean, a lot of men say that they want to have threesomes. I've heard it before. Not happening with me, but hey, to each his own. Yeah. This man said he wants to have a threesome with a little person.
No, he said he wanted to. That's one of his fantasies is to just do it with a little person. Hollywood is an interesting fellow, man. I must say myself. But to each his own.
I don't get it, but that's all I had to say.
He was like, I ain't never had a threesome.
And Mike was just like, maybe Ashley will give it to you.
He was like, nah.
And I'm like, nah, Ashley said she was
straight one side. Want to. with Ashley. He wanted to have a threesome with 2 other girls.
Oh, well, Ashley said,
I was like, bro,
absolutely
like,
not anyways.
You on the show talking about,
I want to marry you.
Put a ring on it. And then you sitting up here like on the show saying you want to have 3, like, bro, that's out.
Pick one.
Right.
Pick
Either
one.
you're in or you're out, sir. But no, Hollywood, I think the date went well with Hollywood and Passionate, just because they were like, they kept moving with the conversation, you know, and they were also like, he did say the sideways thing, but I mean, you always can make a mistake and then bounce back in a date. So
perhaps.
Yeah. But that's all I got for them, man. They both, like I said, they both passed on the second date. And yeah.
All right. So next up is Tamika and Vince. Vince went out on a date with Jazzy McBee, which I didn't realize that was Jazzy. I've met Jazzy once before when I was working at the restaurant.
Okay.
Because they used to do day parties there, and she was one of the people that would come out to do the day parties. But that was interesting. I still have the same sentiments. Jazzy was doing too much to be in my house.
Right.
And I mean, personality or not. You didn't?
Nah. I just feel like it was like him going out with a female friend to talk about what's going wrong with his relationship.
And maybe for them, or them meaning Tamika and Vince, because this is the first date that they went on and the other couples have already experienced this already. They had to work through that little jitter of, why are you doing this? Yeah. And so on the date with Jazzy, he gave his why, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I can't really.
It was trust. He just wants her to trust him.
Yeah. No, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm disagreeing with what he said. He wants something that he hasn't earned.
And for me, I see it both ways. Like, I see it the way that he hasn't earned it, but I also see it in a way that he's like, hey, that's who I talked to before. You know, the way to fix everything, the way to have trust is to communicate better with her. And
stop lying.
And stop lying. What did he lie about?
The whole interaction with the other girl came up as a lie, because he was in their sit down with Dr. Nicole from, I guess, last episode. She was saying, or maybe it was on this one, she was saying that he was making her feel crazy about it, because he was saying that if this wouldn't have happened, if you would not have been entertaining her.
This episode,
And the issue with that is, no, it would not have happened if you would have been truthful.
Yeah.
Because people overlap relationships all the time. Like, I'm not saying that that's right. I'm not saying that it's wrong. It just happens.
It happens, yeah.
So people overlap in relationships, but when this girl is sending messages to the girl that you're now in a relationship with, and then you go out of town with her, you lied.
Yeah, you got major
because
issues.
you told me that she's an ex, but why am I going out of town with an ex?
And see, my thing is, why Tamika stay with him? If you know that this is an issue, now getting married to, or planning to get married to him, that's going to cause a greater issue, because you're not over that. You have to not accept him because you've married him with this trust issue. You that's your fault.
I think that when you have those type of trust issues, you have to literally restart the relationship from ground zero.
You need to work through that. And the way I look at it, either you're going to trust him 100% or you're not going to trust him at all.
Yeah, because there's no 50% of trust.
It's no in between. So you have to make that decision. And I honestly, I honestly don't understand. Like, if you don't trust him, why are you trying to marry this man?
She's not. He's trying to marry her. Like he says he's ready to get married and she's the holdup.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, that is right.
So she's just like, I mean, for lack of better words, it feels like she's saying this is convenient for now.
Yeah.
I don't have a reason to leave because this is convenient for now. Once I figure out what I want to do next, I'll do that. Yeah. But right now, this is what's convenient. This is what's comfortable. This is home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and a lot of people get caught up in that. So, like I think we've all been caught up in all these years with a person.
Yeah.
And so that's where she is. Like, I've spent all these years. I don't have a reason to break up with him, but I don't have a reason to marry him either.
That's a huge reason to break up with a person.
It should have happened when it happened, though.
Right. Like, they never should have made it that far. But the fact that they've made it this far, and now it's, you're in a, either we're going to get together or we're going to, get engaged situation. It's like you're seeing things brought up to the forefront. I mean, like, they do have a relationship therapist to talk to, to kind of help them through the decision making. But you have to get over this trust issue thing before you can truly say, yeah, I want to marry you. And come to find out, their communication, like, they even admitted that their communication is bad. So on Vince's part, he has to learn how to communicate with this woman to where she can get over her issue, her trust issue with you.
And Dr. Nicole told Tamika that she needs to learn to find the language to relay what she needs, because he'll ask her things, and because she doesn't know how to articulate it. And usually the reason that you don't know how to articulate is because you don't know. Right. But she doesn't know how to articulate it. So she says nothing and then she shuts down.
Right.
And that's not productive for the relationship. Like, I've seen people have to like take a step back and just be like, give me a minute and let me ponder this before we have this conversation. As you like to say, table it.
Right. Right.
And come back to it. But I think they need to table the relationship and come back to it. Because at this point, she really, truly doesn't trust him. Like, even on the date with Jazzy, he said he was happy that she reacted the way that she did. And it's like, she reacted like that because she don't trust you.
Right, right. You think he finna
and
go
then you bring this loud woman in my house.
to come get you.
Right. Like, no, I couldn't trust that.
Yeah. And that's something Jazzy said. She was like, I don't know how I would feel with my man going out on a date with another woman.
Right.
So it's a weird situation, but, it is what it is.
So last thing that I wrote down was he said that she doesn't do things that she used to do.
This dude started crying.
And I, like, when he said she doesn't do things that she used to do, I was like, maybe she doesn't like give him the emotional support that he needs. Maybe she used to like cook all the time. Maybe it's sex. I'm thinking it's something like huge.
Right.
And important.
Right.
And this man says she used to call me daddy. If you don't get out of here with this.
This man, he said,
I wanted to turn the TV off.
He said, I'm sorry for getting
like, he grabbed his tissue and really started like dabbing at his eyes because she doesn't call him. It had to be something else.
I couldn't sit there. Like, I couldn't have been Hollywood or Mike sitting there without busting out laughing. This dude could literally went to a group session
and was
cried,
like, she don't call me daddy.
And said, she don't call me daddy no more. That meant, and to each his own. It's we're all laughing about it, but it meant something completely big, huge to them. You know, all jokes aside, like if that's what was very sentimental, because that's what the word he used, it was very sentimental to him for her to call him daddy, then to each his own on that one. But to me, that's small. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that's their relationship.
It ain't no more. She is not calling him daddy anymore. Right. Maybe she gonna start back after that revelation.
Maybe. And kudos to the doctor for keeping a straight face and saying, you know, the professional answer.
Let me tell you, Dr. Nicole is so much better than I could ever be in this setting. Yes. And I'm not even talking about from the relationship standpoint, but from the poker face.
Right.
Because Hollywood and his antics. And then what was the first couple?
She has to bring it up.
Right. Ulysses and Mimi.
Yeah.
Like Ulysses' antics. And then we got this one crying because she don't call him daddy. Like a better woman than I'll ever be, because I would be like, is he serious?
Man, teared. I was like, where'd you get this tissue from?
I don't know. Oh, God, I don't know.
What happened here?
You got anything else for them?
They both decided not to go on a second date.
No new dates.
No new dates.
No second dates.
No second dates, yeah. But they are definitely interested. And well, he said he was interested in other dates.
I'm be like, slow your roll, daddy.
This dude here,
definitely with me.
This dude here, man, teared up.
That touched his soul.
And he said, "I'm sorry for crying." Like, bro, are you serious? Right now, I thought he was going to say something prolific.
I thought he was too. Like, I literally thought it was something like big, like relationship crushing that she just don't do no more.
She just don't call this
man
daddy.
She don't call him daddy.
Well, all right. That's all I got for this.
Is it Che or Shay?
Shay. I think it's Shay.
Because I've heard people say two different things.
I think it's Shay, and that's what I'm sticking with.
Got it. I'm with you. All right. So Michael and Shay. So before we get to the date, we had a sit-down conversation with the two of them. And I was done with Shay at that moment. I
was too.
So we learned that Michael has a 12-year-old son by the name of Zion, who lives in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. High school is swiftly approaching.
It definitely is.
And he wants to have his son come and live with him full time when high school begins. That's very, I won't say admirable, but like, I like to hear dads wanting to be full-time parents, because it's always moms that are there 24/7, 365. Even, you know, in the midst of breakups. Right. But like, to see dads say, I'm stepping into this role, like, I'm going to take it from here. Like, I like to see that. Mm-hmm. Shay says that she can't see her life as the three of them. Now, mind you, this child comes every summer and stays for 3 months. So June, July, August, well, probably like 2.5 months, because school starts back in August. But comes every summer, stays with them. Excuse me. And she says that she doesn't like the way that the dynamic shifts when this child comes into their home, because they can't go out on dates anymore and whatever other nonsensical things that she said, because they were all nonsensical. I took a pause.
We both did.
And was like, we literally paused the TV. Why do you want to be with this man if you don't want to, like, be around his kid?
You don't want his kid to come live with him. Because that's what it was. She was saying she doesn't, it's something, either feel comfortable or comfortable with the idea of him coming.
She said she's not comfortable with his son living with them.
Yeah.
And I wrote down also that she talks about the child as if she's never met him. But we know that they have because they had a full conversation about how the son feels about her.
Yeah. And he was like, he talked to you, so that's a good thing. Because he don't really talk to a lot of folks. For me, I took a step back because you instantly become a mom, you know, to this.
Or a mother figure.
A mother figure to this child. And your first instinct or your first idea of him coming to live with you is, I'm uncomfortable with him living with us. Then you're uncomfortable with me as a person,
as a mate.
I can't marry you, and you can't if you have an issue with my child.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can't allow my child or, you know, to be around that.
Because like I take it a step further because we were talking about this. Like I told you, we had to pause. What if something happened to this child's mother?
Right.
As the second parent, you automatically get custody of this child unless there's some type of court petition by another member of the family. So you are willing to say, no, this child does not need to live with us because it changes your comfortability in your home.
Right.
Like, is it that the space is too small? Move out of an apartment, rent a house, buy a house, something.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, we've had enough kids come in and out of our house. It's only 2, but that was enough, with 3 counting our actual child.
Right.
But we understand, like, even if you say it's temporary for like 6 months or temporary for 4 years, like this child becomes an adult and they leave.
Yeah.
So high school starts at 14? So 14 to 18. You still got 2 years to get comfortable with this and figure it all out. But it's asking a lot to say, I want to be your wife, but I don't want to be the stepmother to your child.
Right. The full-time stepmom. And for me, that's honestly a deal breaker, and it puts Mike in an awkward position because now his girlfriend has basically said, put a wedge between him and his child.
Because that's like an ultimatum if you really think about it.
Right.
Because saying, I don't want your child to come says either on his part, I'm not with you,
or I don't get my child.
And if my goal or my plans for the last however many years has always been, this is my child, he lives with me at 14.
Yeah, like what it sucks for you.
Like, what are we doing here?
Right. So that took me aback when she said that, and I felt like we need to be talking about something else when it comes to Shay and Mike, because at that point, Shay and Mike don't need to be together.
I mean, I said like, that probably before this moment, but this moment solidified it.
Yeah, like for like the beginning part of it, I was like, well, Shay and Mike doesn't need to be together because Mike don't show enough attention. But no, Mike needs to leave Shay alone because even if she said, like, got on with the program, it's still kind of questionable with her, you know? So,
our next up I got was him going on a date with Whitney.
The intro was awkward.
I don't remember.
Like, because she came to the house.
Again.
They were in the middle of a conversation.
Can y'all stop that?
Right.
It bothers me.
Again, they were in the middle of a conversation when I think they set that up too.
They do. Because production knows when to be there.
Start talking now.
Like, okay, conversation goes now.
Okay, now you come on, knock on the door. Knock on the door.
Whitney came over. Whitney was a very pretty girl.
Whitney is fine.
Like, Whitney is beautiful.
Her walk up wasn't, but
yeah, but I felt like that was something that they asked her to like film like 3 or 4 times, and at that point she was just over it.
Yeah.
But like Whitney is beautiful, and she seemed to have like, I won't say her head on straight, because she said something during her conversation was like, she thought that she never wanted to get married, and she thought that she never wanted to have kids when she was with her ex.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the same conversation with Mike, she says, well, I don't really need to get married, and I could treat my guy's kid as my own. They don't have to physically come from my womb. So it's like, basically you're saying the exact same thing that you said you didn't need. Which one is it?
Yeah. But she was saying it was just with him. Like with her ex. It was.
No, I get it, but she said the same thing.
It wasn't that she didn't want kids or want to get married. It was just she didn't want to do that with him.
And I get that. I understand that. But like for her to say also that they don't have to be my kids and I don't have to get married, that's still the exact same thing. You just removing your ex and adding a new person into that equation.
Yeah.
So it just felt a little, I don't know the word for it, but it felt like she wasn't sure and she's saying what sounds good.
Yeah. I just honestly feel like she's like, right now I'm not looking to get married. There's a possibility, there's a chance. But right now, today, I am not looking to get married.
Fair.
I think Shay was nervous. That fact of that she was pretty. And
I'm trying to remember what the first girl. Oh, she didn't see the first girl.
Yeah, she didn't see the first girl.
Riley met him at the restaurant.
Yeah. And Mike was like, when he saw her, he was like, yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, she's very pretty. I did feel like I was a bit of a prude because she came on a date with like a crop top on. Yeah, and I was like, is that how we go out on dates in 2020?
I don't know. It worked. Whatever happened, it worked. They went to a lounge, smoked hookah.
Baby, pass me the
And, they talked. I think their conversation was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about the things about her ex. She asked about his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
He told her about his son.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. And they really had a good conversation with each other. We could tell that they were digging each other.
Mm-hmm.
Vibing.
They exchanged numbers.
We come to find out at the group counseling that they did exchange numbers.
And he was texting her.
And they've been texting each other.
Which
Shay didn't like it.
I wouldn't have either.
Yeah. But he did do what I said he was gonna do.
What's that?
He was gonna say, I was just trying to give.
I'm open to the process.
Right. I'm open to
because I think that's the name of that's the name of the episode is open to the process.
Yeah. So he was like, he's open to the process, and he was, he just wanted to fully immerse himself. And me being who I am, I was like, man, he liked that chick, and he's like, I'm gonna keep this in the chamber.
I have not set up a date with her yet.
Right.
That is the word that we were missing because because he was like, and I know that was for production, but asking you, are y'all going on another date? And
Did we
there's
find
no.
out if they're going on a second date? No,
they're not going on a second date. If you don't immediately say no, the answer is maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're in a relationship and this is how everything is panning out. But like, I think that if Whitney's text game is what he feels like it needs to be, they're going to go on another date.
Of course, man. Of course. First thing Whitney is doing is drawing a line between him and Shay, which it's easy to do at this point.
All you got to do is be like, boo, she don't want your baby to come live with you. And putty in her hands.
Right. But Mike like her. Mike really does like her. Shay was mad because of that they were texting and stuff. And they didn't go out on the second date. Shay talked about her date with Peyton and, how much she liked him. Mike did not flinch at all. Like, you got no response, no emotion.
But that has been a consistent for him.
That has definitely been a consistency.
He is not giving anything for her in that. And I think that he likes to see her sweat.
I think so. I think he enjoys it, and stuff like that. I'm looking forward to next episode.
Yeah, things are gonna get very interesting. So I don't know how many episodes this season is. I think they said 10.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Do you think any of these couples are gonna actually like stay together?
Shay and Mike needs to break up.
Now I'm not saying need to. I'm saying do you think?
I think Ashley and Hollywood are actually gonna get engaged. Vincent, I think everybody's gonna stay together.
I'm worried about Hollywood and Ashley because I feel like Ashley is enjoying having real like conversations and getting to know someone and all that jazz.
Yeah, I think they all gonna stay together though. I think Mike and Shay really need to dig deeper into this child thing, which I think they do next week on the episode. So.
And he can be like, bye.
Deuces.
All right. Well, if you have nothing else, then guys, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, turn on the notification bell. And you can also follow us on social media. Both of our Instagram pages are listed below, as well as our Facebook page is listed below in the description box. You got anything else? Nope. All right, y'all. Bye.
Peace.